Up next on Inspiring Beauty and Believers.
Pivotal thing that women need to understand. Women who desire to be wives and wives who are already wives. Reflect on, ask your man, what makes you feel like one?
All right, we're gonna go ahead and get started. So Courtney can get going.
I'm sorry. I'm the longest winded out of all of us. Talk about we gotta hurry up.
Cool, it's cool. I just finished watching our premiere from the end of the last one, and you was like, Shawnee, we didn't get to none of your questions, but we got you on the next one. We got So I know y'all still come through no matter what, but
hold on, before she start, I've been watching you guys' videos, and I just want to say I love the conversation that you guys have. I love the genuineness, the authenticity. I'm transferring y'all. Excuse me. I gotta pronounce each syllable because it'll sound all thrown off. But I have generally enjoyed the conversation, and I've been sharing it with people. People even from my church have been coming up talking about this conversation. So the message is definitely getting out there. So I just wanted to encourage you guys to continue to speak. I believe that each of you have a voice for this world. You have that frequency that the world needs in your own way, and it's special in your own way. So I just wanted to encourage you to keep it up. Keep allowing the Lord to use you, continue to shine, kings, and continue to be transparent, because men are getting it and they're feeling comfortable to be able to even listen to the conversation. Because I think sometimes it's even uncomfortable. I'm not a man, but I'm assuming from some men that I know it's even uncomfortable to even hear these type of conversations that you guys are having so freely. So just wanted to shout y'all out for that. Keep it up and keep these conversations going.
So
Appreciate
yes, this is my co-host for Mask Off Podcast, Jazz.
Hello.
And welcome to Inspiring Beauty and Believers. I am Song, and we are entering back into our series For the Love of Men. I almost forgot the name of it. I think
You see all these men on here?
I know. Oh, also, I'm gonna just throw this out here. So I love Black art, and when I walked into Jazz House today, I was like, "Oh, can we put this in the back because I really love this piece of art?" And she was like, "Where are we gonna put it?" I don't know. I just like it, and I just want to stare at it. So I think it's beautiful.
Just boom, up against the window.
Exactly.
It's very.
This
powerful.
is not what they teach you in school, though. You know, I went to. That's
Definitely.
okay. We're gonna roll with it anyway because it's what she wanted.
I think it's
Whatever.
beautiful. I think
This is
men
no
are
lie.
supposed to be protectors, and I think
They are.
It's.
Can you guys see the picture?
It is a very, very dope painting.
Very much so. And in line with what we talk about and what we believe.
Yeah. But what we talking about today is probably a little different. It ain't got nothing to do with that. Hopefully we can tie it in. So we're just going to jump right into this. So just to give you guys an understanding of where these came from, I posted a question on IG asking women, what are the myths that they believe about men? And so these are the responses that I got. Now, I wanted to bring Jazz on here with me because I felt like we need a little more female energy and like to help these ladies, because reading some of this stuff is like, dang. And I sent it to the guys and they was like, who hurt you?
I said the same thing. I was like, what? Okay.
And so being someone who has gone through some things, and Jazz also has gone through some things, we can relate to why somebody would feel like this, because this is how we have perceived things in relationship. But we wanted to get a viewpoint, or the viewpoint of some men on this, on why men are like this, or is it a myth, or is it actual fact, or whatever the case may be. So the first one, this was not one of the things that a woman said, but it was a video that the guy shared, and we just wanted to address this really quick. Men are okay with women proposing. Now, y'all know y'all done seen these videos of these women getting down on their knee proposing, and I do not agree with this at all, and I will never propose to a man. But I just wanted to bring it to men, since there are men who are saying yes to this. How do y'all feel about women proposing?
No.
No.
Okay, next question.
I ain't trying to get you cut off, but bleep, nah. Definitely
Next
not.
question.
Like,
Let me put it out there like this.
Yeah.
If my daughter ever thought about proposing, and let me say this, she 9 years old. So it's a long way away. We having all kind of problems. All kind of problems. So H something bleep. No. Let me expand.
Several explicit kids. Okay. I see how explicit kids. How you say it right? Explicit.
It's in my skin. Like, that's crazy. But okay, let's just make it long.
Okay, so
Hold on about that question, though, because I know like the answer is no. I can clearly tell that each of you guys are like, no,
clearly
that's not happen.
Clearly.
But as a woman, what? Oh, okay, no, but I'm not. Before I ask that, do you believe that God would tell a woman to propose to a man?
no.
No.
are we gonna get more than no today?
No, there's no substantiation for that. There's no backing in the Bible for that. There's no substantiation in that. There's none of that. And even if you want to go outside of that, the whole thing is, what energy do you have where the woman that you're talking to feels like, you know what, I'm gonna just go ahead and take the lead on this and go ahead and say, I'm gonna go ahead and ask you to go ahead and marry me. It's like, nah, if I'm giving that energy off to you in the first place, that's the ultimate problem. That's a serious problem to me, because I shouldn't be giving off that energy that you feel like you can go ahead and just jump in for something so major in our lives that has to do with, especially if we're both believers. If you're a non-believer, do whatever you want. But especially if we're both believers and you're talking about I believe in what God says. I believe the man's ahead. I believe, and there's a whole book on what people think as it comes to that. But the point is, if you believe the man's ahead, you believe everything the Bible says, you believe all those different things, and then you as a woman step all the way out of line before we ever get married, just to go ahead and do that.
What if she's taking initiative, though?
First of all,
hold on.
I'm sorry. You have a man that you don't believe is going to take initiative. So what are you asking for in the first place? You're about to get your son.
Can I make this point real quick? And I won't be long.
We open.
There's two different. That's what somebody says when they're long-winded. I'll probably say I'm second.
Only for a second.
A
few hours later.
There's two different energies that I look at this. There's a masculine energy and a feminine energy. And when a woman steps into that role, they step into this masculine role, you know what I'm saying, regardless man or female, you know what I'm saying, it's masculine and it's feminine. So in that role, now if she has literally taken that role, you might as well say that she gonna take the role moving forward. And now, don't get me wrong, I don't feel that if a woman makes more money, that makes you less masculine. Because if you know your purpose and you're fulfilling your life's destiny, then you may make less than the last person, but she'll still respect the fact that you're being true to yourself. And that you feel good.
My question before I get there, but keep going.
Oh, okay. But because anyways, man, one of the best examples I like to say is oh man, I'm having a moment right now. What's Dave's wife's name that's on the stage big
Joyce
right now?
Meyer.
Joyce Meyer. She already tell you Dave run the show. Dave be sitting in the front row like, yeah, y'all better understand. Like, you know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, he was the one that kind of helped put her in that position, as you should. Even if your woman has, you know what I'm saying, the limelight or it looks bigger than that, you still know that the energy is where it needs to be as far as what I believe. And I'm not saying, you know what I'm saying, anybody take it wrong that I feel that a woman should be less or anything like that. I just feel people should have their purpose and have their role. And at the end of the day, I play chess and stuff like that. I feel that the queen can move all the way across the board. And even though the king can move one piece, you know what I'm saying, 1 point over, she's overlooking, you know what I'm saying, a lot of things. She sees a lot of things. She brings things to that king like, hey, you see that? Yeah, she ain't right, or that ain't right, you know what I'm saying? And then at the end of the day, he'd be like, yeah, baby, you right, you know what I'm saying? And he'll respect that. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, when you make that final decision, it is what it is. that's just the kind of energy and the way I was raised, and that's the way that I flow. And I'm unapologetic for that. But I'll leave it at that. I'll move it on to wherever else want to go next.
There you go.
I want to clarify what Shan was clarifying. Like when he said, like, out of line, because I think a lot of women are going to hear that and be like, who are you to tell me where my line is? And it's not about gender roles. It's not about this patriarchal system that I think that's what a lot of women that let me be clear. I think from my observation way over here, it looked like,
it's my opinion.
Yeah, it looks as if that a lot of the women that are willing to propose or driven to propose, not even willing to, but like, yo, I think this is an amazing idea versus this is a last resort idea. It could in fact be rooted in like feminism, like, you know, I break away all gender roles and stuff. And if that's how you see the world, then cool. You know, if that's how y'all work, then cool. But I'm telling you, the average man, especially the average man, the consistent man that's rooted in Christ and his life is rooted in the word, is not going to stand for that. And in fact, we're going to take offense to it. And so it's not about when he was talking about out of line, he's saying, look, if we have come this far in our relationship, looking towards the future based on the word, then we should have already had an understanding that I would be the leader of this household. Your voice is just as valuable, but ultimately I'm responsible for the decisions of the household when it comes to the things of God and how God sees us. So because of that, you pushed me out of my spot. It's not about you getting out of line, like you left where I put you, as much as you pushed me out of my spot. You barged your way into my role. And that, I think, and Shane, correct me if I'm wrong, but I just want to be sure, like,
you're running
that they understand, that the ladies that listen to this understand that it's not about us putting you in a place as much as at that point in a relationship, we've probably already established where we are and who we are to one another. And you impeded upon my space and pushed me out of pocket. So now not only am I not in my space, I'm not even in yours. I'm in this unknown territory where you've literally just opened up a whole can of where are we going now? Because I thought we had a plan, and you yanked the steering wheel while we was in the middle of the highway. Like, what are we doing? Why are we driving through somebody's farm? And she's like, I don't know, it just felt right. And you like, yo, you hit a cow. Like, now we owe this dude $12,000 for his prize cow. Like, what? Your spur of the moment, it just felt right, got us $12,000 in debt with a broke suspension. And I know that's a long off metaphor, but my point is,
I get it.
You pushed we had a direction. That's what it boils down to. Yeah. We had a direction, and if we've been together long enough for one of us to be proposing, then we had a direction. We had some sort of plan. And as far as I was concerned, we were on that track together. And you blindsided me, very likely publicly and very likely on the internet. And now, you understand what I'm saying? Like, you took this and put all of this in this space that now I feel obligated to say yes in the meantime, to spare your feelings to the world. But as soon as we leave here, I'm about to break your heart.
That's so good. So, you know what? I actually know somebody like that at my church, and she did a photo shoot, like proposing to him. And to me, it just looks so unnatural. Like, she got on this dress and heels, and she down on a knee, like in the desert, you know, proposing to him. And, you know, I guess I see things on people, and I can tell that he looked like he was uncomfortable. I can tell that he is just like this, like, I don't want to embarrass her. I don't want to make her feel bad. So I'm gonna go ahead and say yes. So a few weeks later, I saw them at a church gathering, and you can tell he's out of position. Like, you can tell that he is not that man, that leader anymore, that she has bumped him out of that position. And now that she's in that position, and she said on Facebook that the Lord told her, I don't know who Lord she talking about, but the Lord told her to go ahead and propose to him. And I'm thinking, like, why would the Lord tell you to do that? Like, when does the Lord start speaking like that? Because he doesn't.
But whose last name is he taking her last name?
No, she's gonna take his last name, but she took that's why I said initiative. She's
going to take. He's not giving. She's taking his last name.
There we go.
I'm supposed to
Dang.
give it to
There we
her.
go.
She's
There we
supposed
go.
to receive it. She
There we
took
go.
his name.
Mm.
Women, and I maybe this is where we're supposed to go, but I'm telling you, women,
Wow.
I don't
not
think
all
we can
women,
make it
obviously.
through the rest of these questions.
Women have, this is by itself. Women, one thing I think, one pivotal thing that women need to understand, women who desire to be wives and wives who are already wives, reflect on, ask your man, what makes you feel like one? And what do I do that takes away from what you feel is your manhood? Because when there is, you could, I'm telling you, there's so many things that you can do wrong that we won't care about.
Mhm.
There's so many things. There's so many mistakes that you can make that we will blow over and move on, and we'll just sip our tea like y'all do and keep it moving. We'll brush it under the rug. We'll laugh with our fellas about it one day down the line. Somebody bring it up. We're like, bro, that's petty stuff. You crying over nothing. When you demean a man's manhood, we take it as disrespect. We would rather be respected by you more than anything else. We know you love us. You express your love to us. Thank you for your affection. Thank you for holding down the household. Thank you for raising our children. Thank you for being loved. Thank you for being confidants. Thank you for all of that. Respect me or go somewhere else. We want to be respect. And here's the thing, because we don't demand respect from everybody. We live in a world, especially, I obviously have the advantage of being less melanated, but the average black man is not respected in the streets the way the average white person is. And so we don't get respected everywhere in general, but in this house, where my name is on these bills, and it's not because I pay them, it's simply because of the roles that we established. All I need from you at the baseline is for you to respect me. And when you snatch my name from my grip without my permission, the fact that you even requested it put me in such a position that I felt that I was being violated, like somebody was sliding my wallet out while smiling in my face.
Wow.
I often feel more insulted, not by insulting things that people say, but by people who say insulting things in a slick way that they think I didn't catch.
Yep.
I don't care that you insult me. I care that you thought I was dumb enough not to catch it. Because anybody's going to say something. So you can go to a basketball game and get, you and your team trash and your mama was at all of this. Nobody care about that kind of stuff. We don't take that stuff personally. What we take personally is being directly disrespected. And that woman who proposed to that man, I'm not saying the one that I don't know what they talked about leading up to that relationship. In general, we want to be respected above all by that one woman. If she respects us, then all is right in the world. We can make it through tomorrow. The next day is easy. We together are still going forward in what God has called us to do. But if I'm not getting respected at home, if she takes my manhood, whether on purpose or not, it can be forgiven. Ooh, it's some irony. My wife has a thing. She tells my son, I'm gonna use an example. She says, this is a person, you say something sharp to this person, and this happens. She was like, and then you apologize. She said, now, it's still a whole piece of paper, but do they look the same? You've done something that can't be undone. It can be healed. It can be scarred, but there will always be remnants of what has happened based on what you said. And I feel like that's the kind of thing that, we might be able to get, but we ain't never going to be, we'll never have this.
Right.
It's just so tough. Respect is such I'm done. Y'all know.
So really quick.
And for the record, me and my wife good over here. I'm just passionate about the topic. I don't want nobody like his wife to do it. Nah, trust me. I'm straight over here.
So when you were saying that, this is the image that I got in my head. When a female is raped or sexually assaulted, then, the person, you can't take that back. What was what was taken away from her, you can't give that back to her ever again. And it doesn't matter if you apologize, if he was, maybe drunk when he did it and he didn't intend to do it. And that's what the image that I got when you were talking and thinking about a female taking that man's name and taking that position, that role. You essentially just raped this man, most likely publicly. And how does he ever go back to just being a man again?
You put it all on social media and everything like that.
Now, I will say that was your words. I don't believe any man would ever equate that event to a female being violated, but I understand from a metaphorical perspective what you're saying. I just want to be clear, because I don't want nobody saying these guys equated out there. No, we didn't do that.
But look, I
don't want Sharon to be at the car wash one day and somebody like, I seen you on the podcast. And
you was raped verbally, and you just let me tell you like this. Every time it's a good thing. I don't have my teeth.
They will try to come.
You know what I'm saying? But I will put this, man. I just want to add to what Courtney says. There's a certain thing that men want. Respect is one in the house. Next thing that I think it's overlooked so often, which will demasculate a man, is peace. When a man is, one of the worst things for a man to do is to lose his job, right? And not to be able to provide for his family. And then on top of that, come home and not get the peace, because, you know what I'm saying? And I understand when women trying to hold it down and stuff like that, when it's hard, a lot of times they project that and try to, in other words, push like they're motivating this man. Like the man don't need no more motivation. If a man wants to go get the money, he's going to definitely go get it. It's just, is the opportunities coming together or not? So I'm just speaking, I'm not one, because I keep a few jobs. So I lose one, ain't no thing, I'm gonna put another one back in, you know what I'm saying? So I'm going to get it. But I'm just going to speak from a man's perspective of what I've witnessed. You know what I'm saying? It's more or less like you're getting bashed, and you know what I'm saying? It's like, yo, he's no good, and they're complaining and stuff like that. And it's like going back to what Courtney say, you already done crumbled that up. You know what I'm saying? And we're men, it's a different perspective. I feel women live most times from the present to the future. That's why they forget what you did behind. And they're like, yo, you know what I'm saying? You're not doing nothing right now. Where that's the bad part of it. The good part of it is that if something goes wrong, a lot of times women can iron out that paper and forget what happened before, because they're living from present to future. Men is going to be like, a lot of times going from present to past, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, yo, when something happens or something is said, it's like literally like, it's like, man, yo, I don't forget what you said. For one, you disrespected me, and it's like, it's going to hold that until I feel the respect is back. And until I get peace in my home, I'm never going to be right mentally. So it doesn't motivate it at it as well. So I just wanted to add, on top of the respect, there's peace that needs to be in a household as well. Because like coming home, like once again, you go through so much stuff, you know what I'm saying? If you're dodging the police, you're like, man, trying to, you know what I'm saying, not get pulled over or something. Or if it's at work and, you know what I'm saying, a person who's not confident is trying to demasculate, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, for real, that's a real thing. Driving while
listen, you know.
That's why my windows is tinted. But anywho, man, that's another thing. That's my own past traumas, I guess, right?
Right.
I was thinking, you ducking the Dodger from the popo?
Honey, bro, that thing is real. You know what I'm saying? That's real, because when it happens, it's like at the end of the day, until, and I'm gonna put this in the perspective of a relationship, until you get a good experience, it's gonna be like the bad ones until I get a new experience that's great. I have yet to get a good one. Like, you know what I'm saying? Whenever it is. But the great thing is I've never ran into him as of recently, because I'm fully legal. I'm not speeding. I haven't had to have no interaction. So we good. You know what I'm saying? But I'm just using that in this perspective. Same thing with a relationship. Until it's like a lot of times, man, you going into this dating world and stuff like that. And these women, you know what I'm saying? And I don't want to use it like these so women don't take it. And I know this is going to be a very controversial topic, but you went through some stuff.
You know what
I'm saying? And you know what I'm saying? Like when I say it, I just had conversations where there's a lot of hurt out here and people are not healing first before they jump back into a relationship. So instead of fixing yourself, you're trying to control the situation by proposing to a man. Oh, I'm going to control the situation. That's the wrong thing, is now that's going to be related as disrespect. You can't control me. And I'm definitely one that like, yo, don't handle me like that. Like, and I'll tell you real quick, like, you know what I'm saying? I'm loving, but then, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, yo, you can't handle me like that. I'm going to tell you, like,
exactly.
It's a no-go in that. Like, man, if somebody proposed to me, forget sparing your feelings. I'm walking right off. Like, bro, like if you gonna do that to yourself,
Bruh.
like, bro, you ain't even. I'm not even gonna say yes. I'm like, bro,
Facts.
you're not gonna even spin it around and be like, oh, he said yes. Nah,
Right.
Nah,
I'm walking
all
off.
facts. Because my whole thing with that, just to jump in real quick, RJ.
No, you good. Go
My
ahead.
whole thing with that is that in that scenario or any other scenario, but at least in that scenario of somebody proposing to someone else, there should have been conversation and communication that was had before that ever happened, in
Facts.
order for you to even know that that's okay, for you to even know that this is the time and now. So we obviously aren't communicating well from the jump anyway, because there's no reason why somebody would feel like it's okay to go ahead and do such and such. Now, caveat, I will say for me, that would be a no. I'm literally going to channel my inner RJ and walk off. Like, that's just what it is. But there are some dudes out here who are a little bit more, oh, well, she proposed to me, I guess it's not that big a deal, this, that, whatever. They just easy going with stuff. Like, if that's their thing, do I necessarily think that's the right way to do it? Whatever. I don't think it's the right way to do it at all. But if they're going to go ahead and they're going to live their lives happy-go-lucky and everything else with all that going on, then that's fine. But my whole thing is, there are certain things that I, as a man, believe that it's for me to go ahead and do. Sorry to say that I'm not sorry to say this at all. I'm just gonna go ahead and say it. Men and women,
Don't say sorry on it.
men and women are not
stand on that thing.
Stand on it. Stand strong. Spread your
men
legs
and women
out.
aren't
Let your balls
men and
hang.
women
Stand on it.
men and women aren't equal. It just is what it is. Men and women are not equal. I know people are going to find a hard time, especially with this whole feminism thing, being like, oh, that's wrong. We are equal. You're just blah, blah, blah. We're equal, right? We walking down the street, some dude come up with a knife and he talk about some, give me all your money. I'm going to step back and be like, babe, what you going to do? what you going to do with this dude? She going to look at me like, what do you mean? What am I going to do? I thought men and women were equal. You know what I would do? I would handle business right now, but I figured you had it. So go ahead and do your thing. I'm going to sit over here. Do you just want me to give him the money? Fine. I'll go ahead and give him the money. All right. We giving up the cash. Dude want to go ahead and rape you. Hey, we stand here together and he want to go ahead and rape you. Babe, you should take care of that. Well, what you mean?
Oh.
If you want to sit there and say that all this thing is, if everything is equal, all the things, it's not. Like, plain and simple. There are certain things, certain areas that men, in my opinion, men should take that ownership over. You should be a protector. You should be a provider. You should be somebody who that woman can come to give her a good word. You should be somebody who can pray over her and she's sure that the word that's hitting is not hitting the ceiling and coming right back down.
Hey.
Like, there should be these things that go on. And yes, you should expect those things from her. She should be able to pray over you. She should be able to have confidence in you. She should be able to do all those types of things. But my man said it best earlier. If the respect isn't there, then I don't know what we're doing. Like, because you've loved several people over the course of your life, probably. And you've probably been in love with several people over the course of your life. I'm talking about most women. I know people don't want to hear this, but I'm talking about most women. Probably been in love and loved several people over the course of your life. Now you're with me. Love me, fantastic. I'll take it. I appreciate it. I'm going to give you the same. Let me get that respect, though.
Hey, run that. I don't ask so much, but you got to run that.
Up front.
The thing about it is, this is all together because the Bible says a wife is to respect her husband, and a husband is to love his wife, love his wife. So that covers everything. We looking for the respect. You know what I mean? That's what it is. And then it's like, what is the foundation that you putting out there? What is your foundation when she gets on her knee and give you a ring? And what it's amazing to me. If I didn't see it on a video, I would be like, I don't even know how that looked. Like, where are you stepping in authority and in kingship? You know what I mean? Starting off, and where was the conversation for it as well? Like, when you start, so of course I'm married, but in dating, what is the purpose that we dating for? Marriage, right? So that, I mean, it seems like that should be a conversation piece.
Should be.
It should be a conversation piece. And I guess if he was like, yeah, I'm cool if you ask me to marry you, or are you asking me for me to marry you, or are you asking you to marry me? Like, where is that at? You know
I'm asking for us to get married.
Sounds like a lot of early confusion.
What?
Listen though, but so my question though for the man who would say yes to that, what is the mindset? If maybe y'all don't know, because obviously
you got to say that question.
I haven't answered.
You got to take a whole other group and do it.
I don't know nobody, but maybe you can find somebody to answer that question.
Listen, because I've been asking these questions. So since I got this list of stuff, I asked some guys. Most of them pretty much said no, but there was one who said they would not. I know. There was one who said they would not mind being proposed to, but I'm taking in consideration the things that I know about their current relationship and things like that. They got a lot of trauma they need to work with, and they're not being appreciated. So any kind of initiation from their other person would make them feel like they're loved, respected, appreciated, something. So they don't mind that, but that's because they need to heal. They need to get out that relationship is what I told them, but that's a whole nother thing. So what
happens when I say yes, and then one day my balls decide to drop again, and I take my manhood back in the relationship? Where we gonna be?
Divorce.
Divorce, exactly. Divorce.
You understand what I'm saying?
No,
like it's a disaster from job.
Hear this, Jesus.
You're going too far ahead, bro. You going
the foundation is
you need to look at the
done.
wedding.
Right. Oh, talk about it, Shan.
You need to look at the wedding. So is your father giving you away? Now that she has
Is my mama walking you down the aisle?
He's giving you away, fam.
My mama walking me down the aisle is what you said.
Yeah, bro, that's
she handing me off to you.
Dun, 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 dun.
Bro.
Dun, 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 dun.
My
the whole wedding looks different now.
Real talk.
Am I wearing the dress?
Am I?
That's what I said.
Are you wearing all?
That's why I said, is he taking her last name? Because
like at this point, I see her rolling up his slack leg to pull off a garter belt at the reception.
You feel me?
See, I'm sorry.
Role reverse. And I know, it's real talk. As much people are not going to want to hear it. It's like role reversals. If this is the way, and I know people say tradition and stuff like that, but it's in place for a reason, because not just the tradition, that's just the way we're genetically built. Like, you know what I'm saying? In all essence of it, that's the way that we're built. Like, it's just in us to be this way. Like I don't know. And it's not something that was like implanted in me. It's just my DNA. Like, it's just the way I was birthed. Like, nothing of that feels good to me. Like, at all. Like, it's uneasy. Like, bro, like I'm looking at every single thing, man. And I don't want to go on a tangent because I want to just get to my point. My point is that all of this, the true essence of all of this is, at some form or fashion, I feel there's some kind of trauma that happened that made a role reversal happen. Whatever it is, as much as you believe it, if it's back to your childhood, or if it was back to a situation where you felt that you couldn't trust the man, you know what I'm saying? Or the fact of this man is moving slower than you want him to. So now you're trying to force him into a thing, and putting a crowd of people doesn't make the situation better. Because the dude said, yes, he got to go back home and be like, God, dog, you de-escalated him twice. And you say, yes,
and then every time somebody look at him like,
exactly.
He can't go nowhere no more without feeling insecure about that moment.
Bro, the best thing
as quiet as it's kept, You traumatized him.
Messed him all the way
You
up.
brought trauma into his life publicly.
Yeah.
And he's going to have to deal with that, whether it be with y'all together or separate. He's going to have to go through getting over that, and likely with a professional.
Yep.
Because if he doesn't, he's gonna go into his next relationship and he's not gonna be sure of himself.
Mm.
And no man likes to feel unsure of himself. I want to be sure with who I am with us and by myself. And now here I am thinking I'm good. I feel like I'm good. And in the moment you like, it'll be over something stupid. I promise. It'll be like, I don't want butter on my popcorn. Oh, so you just trying to take charge of everything. It's like, you don't know that he got all this unresolved.
Yes.
Like, no, it's a real thing. He got to like, I'm trying to, you don't let me drive nowhere. Like, you don't have a license. Like, I'm.
What am I doing?
Subscribe so you don't miss next week's video.
So this is my feeling on it. And every time I see any video like this, that is not the woman's role. Because if you start out your relationship like that, where you are proposing to him, you are essentially, I feel like you're begging this man to marry you, then the rest of the relationship, you're going to be begging this man to be the man, to do what you need him to do. You're